Hello, welcome to Production Base's Summer Networking Party. Let me just introduce myself to start with. I'm Gavin. Apparently, I'm an industry expert. I've been in the industry just over 15 years. I started working on feature films. I was a runner on The Full Monty many years ago. Stayed in features for a while, ended up working for the BBC, did documentaries and some live shows there. Ended up going corporate side and set up my own company. And we're based in Shoreditch, and we make a range of corporate videos and ads and things. First off to say, I love Production Base. I first joined in, I think, 2001 as a freelancer. I started getting work through them. Some people still employ me, who employed me as a freelancer, now employ me as a company to make their films for them. I also love it as a way of recruiting you guys, finding people, finding new talent, and it's the only mechanism I use to find people to do work for me. And I like it because from my point of view, as a buyer, it's very simple to use, it's very clear to use, and it makes life a lot simpler. I run a thing called cv4.tv, so obviously that's the website as well. The reason I ran it was because I kept reading CV after CV, making the same mistakes, the same layout problems, being difficult to read, people forgetting vital information and giving me information I didn't really need to know. So I set up this evening session. It happens kind of 7 o'clock in the evening. It's 2 hours. I go through what I think a CV should look like, how a layout should work, what information I need to know as a producer or as a production manager recruiting. And people go away from that session buzzed up on how they can lay out their skills, and also what skills they have, because some people don't actually realise and identify the skills that they have and put them in the CV. So many times I've looked at what people have read and then said, well, what does that actually mean? And they haven't told me half of what they did on the job. So that takes 2 hours, and we don't have that tonight. So I'm just going to tell you how to survive the cull. Now, I'm going to give you an example. We had that ad up on Production Base. A cameraman that I had booked got a 3-day job and asked to be excused, so I'm happy with that. Now, for that simple 1-day job, Z1 cameraman, I got 50 applications in the space of 3 hours, and I suspended the ad. Because quite simply, on Production Base, there are lots of great people out there. There are lots of really good people, and there must be probably 25 of the people who applied could do the job. The difficult thing for me is not choosing the one person, it's going through and culling it down to maybe 5 people to seriously consider for work. I hate to think, if you're trying to crew up the X Factor and you put an ad, how many applications you get and how you actually manage those applications. So I'm going to give you my top 5 tips to avoid the cull, to avoid yours being one of the 45 that just get discounted and not called. And this is based on my experience, but we've done a survey of producers and production managers, and they've actually confirmed my opinions and my beliefs and the same methods that I use on CVs, and they've actually confirmed it. And there's plenty of statistics here which I'm going to share with you. So, first off, the covering letter. Now, your CV is about what you've done. And what some people forget to do, but a lot of you do, the covering letter is why you're right for the job. So when you're writing your covering letter, look at what you've done on your CV, look at the job app, and try and match your skills, and try and say, okay, it's a studio job. Well, I did a studio job 2 years ago. Let's remind them that I've done that in your covering letter. Because if I'm crewing for a studio and I look through your CV and your top 2 programs are observational documentaries, I might just pass on you, assuming that everything you've done is observational documentary. So remember, in your covering letter, you've got to say why you're right for the job. But it's not all about you. You've got to show an interest in the company you're applying for. We went back over our production-based applications for last year, and out of 212 applicants for the job, 22% name-checked us in the covering letter, actually mentioned our company. Loads of them would literally just cut and paste, I'm a cameraman and I do this. I'm a researcher and I do this. There was no bespoke writing in there, which is the point of the covering letter. Only 2% specifically mentioned the job. That's only, what, 4 people who actually mentioned why their CV had something relevant for what we posted. So, for example, we said that we were filming in a school, and that means someone said, yeah, I've just done something where we filmed in a school, or I filmed with a bunch of kids. And that's what's going to catch my eye, and that's what's going to make me pay more interest. Now, how many people, what percent do you think actually complimented or mentioned any project about that we'd done? 3%. 3% of people actually said, I really like this clip. I see you work for Honda, you've done some nice work. But I tell you what, that 3% got a lot more attention, and I read their CV fully because they've shown an interest in me and the work I've done. So make sure when you do your covering letter, it's not just about you and why you're right. Look at the company, show an interest, and it's like anything. It's showing you have an affinity with the work they're doing. So just find something. You know, it's very simple to go on the website, look at the work they've done, Google them, find them on YouTube, and just mention something that they've done and why you like it.